early, all the wrestlers are just pulling up. He goes, Saito, take the kid in the ring. Mr. Saito, remember him?
Yeah, of course.
He takes me, he gives me a belly-to-belly, suplexes me. Then he goes to me, he goes to all the boys. Snook is watching, Ray Stevens is watching, or everybody's around the rings. They're all watching. He turns around and he goes, heavy. And I thought, wow, yeah, I've been working out, man. It's heavy. I thought it was a good thing, but anybody who knows wrestling, that's a bad thing.
You sandbagged him a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I didn't on purpose.
Right. You didn't
Everything
know.
was a cash business. So, like, if the house was $200,000, he'd have $200,000 in his briefcase. And when Arnold Scola got to the hotel, the briefcase would go under the bed and he'd go to the bar.
That's crazy.
And he knew, and everybody knew it. And I'm saying to myself, you're setting yourself up. I'm from Brooklyn, man. I'm streetwise. I said, you're setting yourself up. Somebody's going to get you. Somebody's going to get you. Nobody ever did. But Arnie was a funny guy, man. For example, a battle royal. In my day, way back then, they would say, you're 1, you're 2, you're 3, you're 4, you're 5. Now, they would say, okay, the first guy goes for a clothesline, he ducks it. Okay, he does this, and then the other guy comes in, and then he accidentally almost goes out. I think it was better back then. The waitress, she goes, do you know who I am? I am Ayatollah's bodyguard. I win gold medal. You give me free beer and food. I can't do that, sir. I'm not the owner. I can't do that. You fucking whore. Vince Sr. got sick,
yeah.
And then Vince Jr. Vince Sr. was very high on Andre the Giant. He would have never liked the Hogan thing, you know what I mean? But Vince was high on Hogan. He's seen the future. I mean, Andre was, they put three in the ring and he squashed all 3 of us. He threw us in the corner and then smashed us. John Studd was not that a personable guy. He wasn't a guy that you would sit down and shoot the shit with.
Dr. D, David Schultz.
Ooh. Dr. D. David Schultz was I see just turns. Music stops. I always reference that scene in Animal House when they walk in the bar and everything stops.
Right.
It was kind of like that. Roddy walks up to the bar. He orders 2 shots of Jack Daniels. And this big guy, 300-pound biker with leather cap, the whole deal. He looked like the big boss. Goes up to Roddy's drink, picks it up, puts it in his mouth. He goggles and he spits it back, puts it back on the bar. Looks at Roddy right in the face. Roddy picks up the glass and goes, "Glad to know you." And then when he did that, everybody laughed. Drinks were flying. George Scott, when he came in, George Scott died too, didn't he?
No, I think I think he did.
I remember when George Scott first came in, he loved Ric Flair. He wasn't high on Hogan. He wanted to get rid of Hogan to bring Flair in. It wasn't going to work.
Right.
I mean, I love Flair to death. Flair's great. I even told Flair that. I says, when George Scott came in, he wanted to bring you in. He goes, I know. But he goes, you were great. And he goes, I'm going to tell that one thing that you did. One thing that you did, I'm going to bring it up, so you better be prepared to stand up at the Hall of Fame. And the thing was, they told me they're going to tell Jim to do a job for me to test his attitude. And I told Jim, shut your mouth. Just do it, because you're testing your attitude.
Did he do it?
He did it. And I brought that up with his wife, and I talked to his wife about it. And I told her that would be our secret forever, but then I put it out on the podcast, and I put it out on this now. But I don't care. Because like I said to Jericho, did I do the right thing or did I do the wrong thing? And Jericho says, you obviously did the right thing. He became a big star.
Yeah.
He goes, if he didn't want to do it for you, then maybe they wouldn't have pushed him. And
helped him.
Yeah. I don't know if I helped him or hurt him, but he would have got there anyway. So he comes up to me, he goes, you're the only guy that I recognize in this building. I don't even know who Senna is. He said he called Cena Senna. He goes, do you mind if I take a picture with you and tweet it out?
Wow.
I says, man, I'm supposed to be asking you this.
Right.
So he takes a picture of me and he tweets to Hogan one day. He goes, big man, I want to take the big clothesline tonight. I want to take the big clothesline. He goes, no, Curtis, I don't want to hurt you, man. I don't want to do this. He goes, you throw me in, I'm going to take the big clothesline. Hogan throws him in, and right before Hogan does it, he throws himself on the ground. I mean, he just like chickens out in the middle of the move.
Right.
He was a character.
Now, when you, actually, Kamala went babyface, and you had a chance to work him. Memories of those bouts working with him?
Oh, I enjoyed working with him. He used to leapfrog, and for some strange reason, he comes up to me and he goes, let's go outside. We were in Hershey Park Arena, and he goes to me, you see that mud over there? Go roll around in the mud. I said, Bobby, what are you talking about, roll around in the mud? He goes, you're going to be a dirty kid from Brooklyn who just came out of the streets to wrestle. And I'll never forget, my mother used to get upset. She used to say to me, why do they portray you like that? Why your clothes are ripped, you're all dirty, you're making me look like a bad mother. I'm saying, Ma, it's a gimmick.
Right.
I mean, but she didn't understand back then. Because back then, people really believed it was real. And I love Haku. He's a great guy, one of the toughest guys ever in the business. He goes to me, walk up to me, give me 2 stiff chops right in the chest. He goes, I give you 1 chop, you take a bump. Sounds easy. Gives me 2, I give him 2 chops, pop him really good in his chest. 1, 2, and he used to do that thing with his hands where he used to go like this, and he like
yeah.
and then he did this. He goes for a chop right to my temple and knocks me out, knocked out cold. And Rick Martel's on the apron. He sees I'm knocked out, but when you're knocked out, it feels like 2 hours passed. But like, oh my God, the launch of Monday Night Raw was that in the Manhattan Center?
Yeah, Manhattan Center.
I think I wrestled in the first Monday Night Raw. I think I was very nervous about it because it was live and everybody was worried. And if I'm not mistaken, I think I might have wrestled Tatanka on that. I'm pretty sure.
Going back to that, did you have a lot of freedom with that character?
I loved it because I could do like sign language, and I could do a baseball punch, and I could do like a double axe handle. It was fun.
Right.
I don't know if it was not too over the top.
Why was the character name changed to Abe Knuckleball?
Because Vince says that we could be sued by the baseball commission, but then I seen MVP come in.
Right.
And you know what I'm saying? Favorite memory of Doink would probably be wrestling Brett in Calgary.
Brett. In '93, you had a little run in Memphis as Doink. Do you remember?
Yeah, I remember that. I was a little pissed off at that. I was in Europe and I was wrestling as Doink with X-Pac, and I always had great matches with him. I love working with him. He was one of my favorite opponents. And I'm wrestling as Doink, and then they tell me, "You're gonna go straight from Europe. You're gonna go to Memphis." But I'm not stupid. I knew Bam Bam Bigelow had a friend, and I forget his name. Not Ray Apollo. I forget his name, but Bam Bam asked for his friend to be the new Doink. No one will ever know. Some people say to this day it's a work. I don't believe it.
I was going to ask you, what are your memories of backstage afterwards?
I don't. You see, everybody says, well, apparently Brett punched Vince in the face and he walked out. They videoed the whole thing. And not the punch, but Vince coming out and he had no marks on his face. And I asked Brett, I said, Brett, be honest. He goes, I swear on my children, it was not a work. But to this day, many wrestlers still tell me, oh, it was a work, because you made Vince the hottest heel in the country, and he gave Brett a great spot in WCW.
Yeah.
But then we get in the ring, and he's hitting everything, double leapfrogs, hip toss me, boom, duck this, duck that. He's hitting everything really good. He got his contract that night.
Wow.
We went to dinner that night, and he goes, I'm not happy. I said, what do you mean you're not happy? He goes, I want more. I said, you better shut your fucking mouth. I said, you got $7 to your name right now. They give you a contract. I said, now you're going to tell me you're not happy. They say, fuck you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he goes, I talked to him about that too. He said the figure was different, but he said, they wanted me in WCW. I didn't want you in WCW. I didn't even know who you were yet.
Right.
But he was a trip, man. I'm telling you, at first they hated him. Rocky sucks. Because they said, listen, we're going to make him Rocky Maivia. I will put Brooklyn Brawler over for the title, but I won't put Shawn over because he was that adamant about it. And he told me that if it did happen before the Montreal Screwdriver, he wasn't going to kick out. Wow. And I said, I'm going to get in trouble. You know what's going to happen? I'll be covering him, and then he won't kick out, and then they'll say, hey, no. Well, Vince would he'd fire me right there.
Oh, yeah.
Even though it's not my fault. I would have to throw my body off of Brett, and they would say, that looks stupid, you know? But then the Montreal Screwjob happens, and then Shawn Michaels now has to take that. Anxiety. We thought we were going to die. And then it wasn't just like your normal, like it was like boom, boom, all the overheads open, bags were flying out. And so he got traumatized by airplanes. I don't like to drive. I'm sick of driving.
Yeah.
He loves to drive. Even though he was in a traumatic car wreck with Gorilla Monsoon's son, and his son got killed. Remember Joey Morella?
Yeah, Joey.
Yeah, he was in the car with Joey Morella. The Attitude Era was great. That's when we started booming, and Turner couldn't do it because his station wouldn't allow that,
right.
So we had him.
Before the Attitude Era became part of the mix, how did people within WWE look upon ECW?
ECW was like a cult following.
As a leader.
Stephanie's brilliant. She's like Trump's daughter. You know what I mean? Like when she talks, you can just tell she's like right on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Stephanie is smart. I know Stephanie since she's like 8 years old. I watch her grow. She's just, if I had a $1 billion business, I would want Stephanie in a big position. I mean, and I'd hear him come in, and in the morning you got to be at the bus at like 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, and And I'm getting ready. I'm saying, Herc, get up, man, get up, get up. And I look at him. He's completely naked, pissing straight up in the bed. I'm going, oh my God. So what do? Do I go downstairs and stooge him out? No, I try to fucking sober him up. But he's saying to me, I'm not fucking, I don't care. You know what I mean? It was crazy then. But you didn't get fired back then.
Sid Vicious.
Oh my God, time bomb. I mean, he was to me, he was the only guy that was more impressive looking than Hogan at one point.
Yeah.
You know, he was bigger, he was taller.
1991.
He was just, if he would just do business, he would have been a multimillionaire today. I like Punk. I just watched a video with you and Punk.
Which one?
The one where these two guys came up to him and they were interrupting his conversation with you or some shit like that.
I think he slapped me or something, pushed me or something like that.
I just watched that not long ago.
Yeah, it was Ring of Honor.
I think Punk was a good guy. He made his money and he just got sick of it.
Yeah. What do you think about him getting involved with UFC?
I think it was a brilliant move because he knew what did he make, $360,000 and an extra 60 for wearing a logo or some shit. I think he's smart. I would do it. I'll go in there for that kind of money. If I didn't take the knowledge with me, that would have been terrible. If I never had the mind to develop the knowledge from the WWE and grow with it, but they don't even realize what they did. They taught me everything.
Right.
They taught me everything.